everyone. Thank you all so much for joining us for this special virtual edition of Wild, Endangered Species Through Dance event. With our spectacular cast of international dancers, we're going on a journey across the globe through air, land, and sea to discover the lives of some extraordinary earthlings whose lives are in danger of being deleted from our planet forever. I'll be your guide along the way, giving you some insight into each animal represented in our show. We hope you enjoy the ride as our dancers convey to you the exquisite beauty that is wild. Donations will benefit our dancers as well as the Wildcat Sanctuary. The Wildcat Sanctuary mission is to provide a natural, safe haven to wildcats in need and to inspire change to end the captive wildlife crisis. Many of you have watched the docuseries Tiger King, and I implore you to please never visit roadside zoos or any captive wild animal facility that is not a sanctuary. If you could please donate any amount today to our cause, we would be so grateful for the support. We're accepting PayPal donations. You can send them to crystal@crystalsilmi.com and Venmo donations at crystal-silmi. Before we begin, I want to say what makes this version of Wild so unique is that I've asked our dancers to try to replicate to the best of their ability the natural environment of their animals. With quarantine restrictions from COVID-19 lockdown, I've been truly impressed by what they've produced. As every dancer knows, dancing on a stage with a smooth floor, theatrical lighting, and no risks of gusts of wind is very different than trying to dance on rocky floors in nature. I want to extend my infinite gratitude to each of these artists for rising to the challenge during these very difficult times and helping us to create a little slice of beauty for the world. With that, we begin our journey. Vamos al sur! Chilean flamingos are distributed in temperate South America from Peru south, inhabiting alkaline or brackish shallow lakes. Standing 4 to 5 feet high, Chilean flamingos are large birds that weigh 13 to 16 pounds. Gregarious social birds, they live in flocks of up to several thousand individuals, breeding, feeding, and flying all together. Flamingos can live for up to 50 years in the wild. Although flamingos have few natural predators, Chilean flamingos are listed as near threatened, likely to become endangered. Humans represent their main threats either from hunting, habitat loss, or changes in the water systems on which they depend. They are vulnerable because their large flocks depend on relatively few lagoon and wetland areas, which are fragile and often converted for human uses. Please welcome Ana del Rey as our Chilean flamingo. We're off to meet our cousin. Chimpanzees are our closest relatives, and we share about 98% of our genes. They're highly social animals and communicate using vocalizations, hand gestures, and facial expressions, and also use a variety of sophisticated tools. There's a wide range of behavioral differences between groups from different regions, so the loss of any one group represents a loss of culture as well as biological heritage. Chimpanzees have already disappeared from 4 African countries and are nearing extinction in many others. Deforestation and commercial hunting for bushmeat are taking a terrible toll on most populations. Representing our chimpanzee today is Gitana Martinez.
must get closer to the essence of life, but be aware that it takes courage and strife. Expand your mind, don't let it wither and die. You'll find that it lifts your spirits high to the sky. So meditate, 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 meditate. Come on, let's contemplate. Talk to the heavenly bodies of the universe.
On to the Bahamas, where we would all rather be. we meet our silver boa. Only 4 years ago, a new species of snake was discovered on an island in the Bahamas, but it's already critically endangered. The scientists named the snake silver boa based on both its color and the fact that it was first found on an aptly named silver palm tree. The entire silver boa population, which is estimated to be fewer than 1,000 animals, is found only on one small patch of earth. The reptile faces threats such as natural disasters, which could wipe out the entire population, poaching for the pet trade, and feral cats, which exist on the island and are known to prey on boas elsewhere in the Bahamas. Please welcome Belladonna as our silver boa. We head back to the Americas to meet our next creature. Monarch butterflies embark on a marvelous migratory phenomenon. They travel between 1,200 and 2,800 miles or more from the United States and Canada to central Mexican forests. There, the butterflies hibernate in the mountain forests, where a less extreme climate provides them a better chance to survive. Climate change threatens to disrupt the monarch butterfly's annual migration pattern by affecting weather conditions in both wintering grounds and summer breeding grounds. Colder, wetter winters could be lethal to these creatures, and hotter, drier summers could shift suitable habitats north. Janelle is representing this beautiful, beautiful creature. Now over to China to meet the giant panda. This peaceful creature comes with a distinctive black and white coat and is adored by the world and considered a national treasure in China. The rarest member of the bear family, pandas live mainly in bamboo forests in the mountains of western China, where they subsist almost entirely on bamboo. A newborn panda is about the size of a stick of butter, about 1/900th the size of its mother, but can grow to be up to 330 pounds as an adult. These bears are excellent tree climbers despite their bulk. Although efforts have been made to increase their population, the giant panda remains a threatened species due to continued habitat loss and being targeted by hunters. I present Lilu as our small but mighty giant panda.
that pulls beneath the surface, consuming, confusing. This lack of self-control I fear is never ending, controlling. I can't seem to find myself again. My walls are closing in. I felt this way before, so insecure. Crawling in my skin. These wounds, they will not heal. Fear is how I fall. Confusing what is real. Discomfort endlessly has pulled itself upon me. Distracting, reacting. Against my will I stand beside my own reflection. It's haunting, I can't seem to find myself again. My walls are closing in. Without a sense of confidence, I'm convinced that it's just too much pressure to take. I felt this way before, so insecure. Crawling in my skin. These wounds, they will not heal. Fear is how I fall. Confusing what is real. Crawling in my skin. These wounds, they will not heal. Fear is how I fall. Confusing what is real. There's something inside me that pulls beneath the surface, consuming, confusing what is real. This lack of self-control I fear is never ending, controlling, confusing
Flying across the globe to sub-Saharan Africa, it's time to meet our elephant. The largest land mammal on Earth, the African elephant weighs up to 8 tons. The elephant is distinguished by its massive body, large ears, and a long trunk, which has many uses ranging from using it as a hand to pick up objects, as a horn to trumpet warnings, as an arm raised in greeting, and as a hose used for drinking water or bathing. The two species of elephants, African and Asian, need extensive land to survive. Roaming in herds and consuming hundreds of pounds of plant matter in a single day, both species of elephants require extensive amounts of food, water, and space. As a result, these large mammals place great demands on the environment and often come into conflict with people in competition for resources. Hunting has been the most significant cause of the decline in elephant populations. Elephants became prize trophies for big game hunters after Europeans arrived in Africa. More recently, and more devastatingly, hunters have slaughtered elephants for their ivory tusks. I'm honored to present Vinatha as our elephant.
Shakti Sahita Ganapatim Shankaradi Sevitam Virakta Sakala Munivara Sura Raja Vinuta Guru Guham Bhaktani Poshakam Bhavasutam Vinayakam Bhukti Mukti Pradam Bhushitangam Rakta Padambujam Bhavayami Shakti Sahita Ganapatim Shankaradi Sevitam Shakti सहित गणपतिम्.
Hi guys, this is Vinatha. I just wanted to take a moment to thank Crystal Silmi for this amazing event, Virtual Wild 2020. I had a Bharatanatyam piece that was dedicated to Lord Ganesha because I was assigned the animal elephant, one of my personal favorites. Ganesha is a Hindu god. He has an elephant face and he's very important in Hindu culture because he always marks the beginnings of all important events and rituals. So here's hoping and praying to Lord Ganesha that human beings come out of this pandemic respecting Mother Nature and giving her the love that she deserves. And I hope that all of you are keeping safe. Bye from Madrid and take care.
Into the ocean we go. The giant stingray has changed little over many millions of years. At half the length of a bus, the gargantuan freshwater stingray may be the largest fish swimming in freshwater on Earth today. The species is found in Thailand and is known to inhabit estuaries and large deep rivers and is occasionally sighted near urban centers of the region. Decades ago, they were reported to be more common than they are now. This is because of overharvesting, pollution, and because their river habitats have degraded. Thai rivers have been plagued by serious pollution, overfishing, and dam building, which have taken a deadly toll on Thailand's once diverse and abundant river life. The ray is believed to exist only in small numbers. Please welcome Jill Baker as our giant stingray.
Oh
Never disturb a sleeping tiger. The tiger is the largest cat species who can reach a body length of up to 13 feet and weigh up to 850 pounds. They're territorial and generally solitary animals, often requiring large contiguous areas of habitat that support their prey requirements. This, coupled with the fact that they are indigenous to some of the most intensely populated or densely populated places on Earth, has caused significant conflicts with humans. They have been featured prominently in ancient mythology and folklore and continue to be depicted in modern films and literature. The tiger is the national animal of Bangladesh, India, Malaysia, and South Korea. The tiger is an endangered species. Poaching for fur and body parts and destruction of habitat have simultaneously greatly reduced tiger populations in the wild. Let's find the leader of the pack. Red wolves are social animals that live in close-knit packs. Almost all offspring between 1 and 2 years of age will leave the pack or disperse to form their own pack. Red wolves tend to form pair bonds for life and mate once a year in February. Fewer than half of wolf pups born in the wild survive to adulthood. Survival rates are affected by disease, malnutrition, and predation. The red wolf is one of the world's most endangered wolves. Once common throughout eastern and south central United States, red wolf populations were decimated by the early 20th century as a result of intensive predator control programs and the degradation and alteration of the species' habitat. Kristine Adams is representing our red wolf. The next animal we are going to meet has become an iconic symbol of climate change, the polar bear. Polar bears are marine mammals and spend much of their time on Arctic sea ice. Polar bears are highly dependent on older stable packs of ice in the Arctic region, where they spend much of their time hunting, mating, and denning. They're generally solitary as adults, except during breeding and cub rearing. Polar bears are strong swimmers, and individuals have been seen in the open Arctic waters as far as 200 miles from land, although swimming long distances is not preferred since it requires so much energy for adults and can be fatal to younger bears. For thousands of years, the polar bear has been a key figure in the material, spiritual, and cultural life of circumpolar peoples, and polar bears remain important in their cultures. Because of habitat loss caused by climate change, the polar bear is classified as a vulnerable species. Please welcome Laura Perez, our magnificent polar bear. Let's head to Southeast Asia to meet an orangutan. The name orangutan means man of the forest in the Malay language. In the lowland forests in which they reside, orangutans live solitary existences. Orangutans are the most arboreal of the great apes and spend much of their time in trees. They are the most solitary of the great apes, with special bonds occurring primarily between mothers and their dependent offspring, who stay together for the first 2 years. Orangutan species are endangered, with the Sumatran orangutan being critically endangered. Human activities have caused severe declines in the population and ranges of both species. Threats to wild orangutan populations include poaching, habitat destruction, and the illegal pet trade. I'd like to encourage our viewers also to refrain from purchasing products made with palm oil, as its production is responsible for much of the loss of the orangutan habitat. Here's Delirium representing our orangutan.
Something monstrous.
I want to thank you all so much for joining us today for this virtual edition of Wild. We today have presented only a fraction of the threatened and endangered species in our show, and unfortunately that list of animals is forever growing at a rate which we can't even begin to comprehend. What we know is that we can't rely on governments and policies alone to save our planet. It has to start with us. Climate change has been called humankind's greatest challenge and the world's gravest environmental threat. It has an impact on every continent, affecting agriculture, human health, ecosystems, water supplies, and people's livelihoods. I know many people feel helpless against this force of climate change and the atrocities by humans against animals, but we are not helpless. All of us are active contributors to this world in how we choose to live our lives. Many conscientious people have been trying to help combat climate change by driving more fuel-efficient vehicles and using energy-saving light bulbs, and all of these things are great, but it's just not enough. Scientists have been telling us for years, and now it's time for us to really listen and take action. The simplest and most important thing that each of us can do to combat these threats to our planet is to follow a plant-based diet. In brief, feeding massive amounts of grain and water to farm animals and then killing them and processing, transporting, and storing their flesh, all of this is extremely energy intensive. Forests, which absorb greenhouse gases, are cut down in order to supply pasture land and grow crops for farmed animals. Finally, the animals themselves and all the manure that they produce release even more greenhouse gases into our atmosphere. The livestock industry is currently responsible for almost half of all greenhouse emissions, and therefore it is the most significant factor in climate change and the one thing that every individual can take accountability for. So please, I urge you to consider joining the international movement in adopting a plant-based diet and being a torchbearer to light the path for future generations for a greener, healthier, and more peaceful and abundant earth. I want to thank all of you for your time and attention, and most of all, thank our wonderful lineup of dancers for bringing this creative vision to life. I'm going to present to you the cast in alphabetical order, not in order of the show. Please know that all of our cast members are also dance teachers, and many have online classes that you can attend and support. Our Chilean Flamingo is Ana del Rey in Madrid, Spain. Belladonna in Washington, D.C. played our silver boa. Silmi, that's me, originally from San Francisco, also from Madrid, but also lives in D.C., is the tiger. Delirium in Cantabria, the north of Spain, is our orangutan. Gitana Martinez, currently in Los Angeles, was our chimpanzee. Janelle Rodriguez in Santa Cruz, California, is our gorgeous monarch butterfly. Also in Santa Cruz, Jill Baker, rock therapy, as our giant stingray. ATS queen Kristine Adams from San Francisco Bay Area, but also currently living everywhere in the world, as our red wolf. Laura Perez is our polar bear in Alcalá de Henares in Madrid. Lilu, also Madrid, is our giant panda. And last but not least, Vinatha from Chennai, India, but currently based in Madrid, Spain, as our elephant. Thank you all so much. Please don't forget to donate. PayPal, Crystal at crystalsilmi.com. and Venmo, Crystal-Silmi. Thank you all so much for joining us today, and we hope that you feel inspired to be a torchbearer for change. Be a voice, not an echo. Thank you.